Whether you're in the grocery store lineup, picking up little Timmy from daycare, or bowling with the ladies on Wednesday evening, you're probably going to hear somebody talk about Niagara home prices. Are they going up? Are they going down? Are they staying the same? What's going on out there? Whether you're a buyer trying to buy a home, a seller trying to sell a home, a realtor, or just an armchair MLS enthusiast, everybody wants to know what's going on with prices. It's all just forecasting, right? It's guesswork. It's magic crystal ball time. But I think if you look at some of the data and you see the trends, you see exactly what's going on right now, what's happening leading into this, you'll get a better picture of what's happening. Okay, I'll stop talking. So have we reached bottom? I today am here to say yes and maybe no, but probably. So specific to sale prices, what got us to where we are today? As you know, because you've all read our 2022 World's Greatest Real Estate Market Report for Niagara 2022-2023 edition, which I've linked down below. Going into December to January of 2021 into 2022, we had the single biggest 1 month price gain in history. It was about $100,000 for the Niagara region. So then we had a monstrous first 4 months of 2022. We all know we were all living through it. We gave up the gains we made going May into June. So we were right back to where we started in December into January. Then the prices sort of lost their footing a little bit as we went into June, July, August. And then they've more or less bounced around there since. So I'm going to show you some info that'll show you where we were just recently and where we're at right now. So we have some graphs that very clearly show you, this is the Niagara region graph, what's been going on in pricing going back to January 2022, here to January 2023. It's currently right at the end of January, so more or less January 2023 is in. So in the pink line is for all residential, and then the gray line is for detached homes only. And you'll see the enormous start to 2022. Prices pulled back as we got into May and June. They sat around the 700,000 range on average from August through October. November to January, they pulled back, sitting around the 650 range from right now, going back about 3 or 4 months. And so you're going to find similar trends no matter where you look, whether you're looking in Niagara or elsewhere, but in Niagara in general, you're going to find a similar thing that happened. Next up, St. Catharines. So in a given year in Niagara, the most homes sell in St. Catharines out of all the other cities. So generally what's going on in St. Catharines is a really good indicator of what's going on in general in the marketplace. So August, September, July to some extent, average sale price in St. Catharines here sitting around 650,000, and then similar to Niagara, it pulled back October, November around 600,000. December in St. Catharines stunk. It was a terrible month for real estate, much like everywhere else in Niagara. So the average sale price came down to 577,000, and then again it's bounced back up in January here, sitting around 605,000 so far this year, back to where we were towards the end of last year. So that's a nice sort of change in the trend. Similar to Niagara Falls, the same numbers. In the summer, it was sitting around the 650,000 range. December, similar to St. Catharines, stunk. Average sale price was down to 575,000. And then here we are in January, a nice rebound, sitting at 641,000. Again, 1 month does not summarize a real estate market, but when it goes from here to here and then back up to here, that's kind of nice to see, right? Rose City, number 3 in the big 3 for the Niagara region. Welland, August through November, sitting around the high 500,000s, and then similar to other markets, December was rough, 515,000 plus or minus for December average. So here we are in January. Again, it's bounced back, not where we would like to see it, but it has bounced back up to 545,000. So here's the challenge in early 2023. We're seeing a big gap between what people are asking and what people want to pay. And that's only persisted as we got through to the end of the year. And here at the beginning of 2023, you know, what comes with every new year? Optimism, right? So you see people throwing houses back on the market at prices that aren't reflected in the current reality of the marketplace. So as a result, we're seeing this gap widening between average asking price and what things are actually selling for. In a nutshell, the marketplace is a restaurant that keeps serving up dishes of food that the buyers, the customers, the clients, the diners don't want to eat. This next graph is an example of why so many people are confused in our marketplace today. It shows you going back to December 1st, 2022 to today, so roughly 55 days. It shows you the number of sales per price bracket. You know, this many homes sold between 400 and 500, this many homes sold between 600 and 700, whatever the case may be. And it really displays very easily, visually, what's been going on. So here it is right here. The number one category for number of homes sold was between 500 and 600,000, the most homes sold in that bracket. The second highest number of homes sold between 400 and 500,000. So It's time for a little quiz. Guess what the average list price during that same time frame was? It was between $775 and $825, in that range. So it averaged out roughly at $800,000. Even though the number 1 and number 2 price brackets for sales are $500,000 to $600,000 and $400,000 to $500,000, the average asking price is $250,000, $300,000 higher than that. Sorry, I got a little bit fired up there. But the key is, it's so important, is realistic asking prices. And that's not what's happening. This next part means so much to me that this is my 9th take to get it right. So the next graph shows you January 2023 specifically for the number of homes sold and the number of active listings. Now, it's a bit daunting. I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm just bringing you the information so you can do with it and make better decisions or more informed decisions on what is actually going on out there, especially if you're selling a home. And it is this right here. The number of active listings are in gray, the number of sales are in pink, and again, this is specifically January 2023. So notice the $500,000 to $600,000 price bracket. There's 52 sales in January up against 221 active listings, so roughly 4 to 1. As you go up, it gets that spread is wider. $600,000 to $700,000. There's 44 sales and 287 active listings. So now we're at about 6.5 to 1. And then as you go up, it gets more and more challenging. So if you have a home for sale right now, say for example for $900,000, you need to know that that price bracket is super price sensitive. So between $800,000 and $1 million, this month there's been 17 sales. Meanwhile, there's 297 active listings for sale. Take the price tag up even further, and that disparity only widens. For $1.5 million and above, there were 3 sales in January of this year. There's 171 active listings over that 1.5 million mark. So if you have a home for sale for 1.9, 3 sales, 171 active, that's going to be a long haul for you. So getting back to the original point of this video, the reason we're all here today is, have prices found their bottom? In my opinion, yes, I think they have. Maybe not exactly, but very close to, and for 2 reasons. Sorry to interrupt. If you want to keep track of the Niagara real estate market data, the trends, the things that are going on, the top 5s, then I highly recommend you subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and stay in the loop. Okay, let's get back to it. All right, first, the Bank of Canada. Yes, they raised the overnight rate by 0.25%. And then they added this little quote, which I'm going to read. With today's modest increase, we expect to pause rate hikes while we assess the impacts of the substantial monetary policy tightening already undertaking. So yes, that was nice to hear. And they did add a caveat, an asterisk to that, by saying that that rate hold is going to be conditional upon other economic indicators, and that the trend towards reduced inflation continues, and they're comfortable with that, then yes, the rates will stay there. But I do think that's a big piece of it, because the uncertainty, we had 7 rate increases in 2022. That was sort of like constantly throwing another heavy blanket over the market confidence out there, how buyers were feeling, how sellers were, how everybody was feeling. And yes, the overnight rate is now at 4.5%, but if it stays there in February, and it stays there in March, and it stays there in April, stays there in May, and we see the inflationary trends return towards the 2% target that the Bank of Canada has, then I think that will add a level of confidence or a level of comfort. Even though it's higher than people want, at least it's not changing. There's some consistency in that new number that allows people maybe to get off the fence and say, okay, if this is where we're at least I know where we're operating in. Let's go out and look for a house. Let's go out and sell a house, whatever the case may be. Number 2, the timing of all of this. We're coming into the end of January, which means we're coming into the spring market. And it doesn't matter what's going on. The spring market always brings a bump in overall activity, whether that's buyers looking to buy, sellers selling, or people doing both, right? So that market activity, right now, the market feels very dormant. But once we see, the blooms start to come out and the spring markets start to arrive, and that, things sort of lighten, and then you combine that with the Bank of Canada rates holding and some continuity, some stability happening, then you'll see, once a seller comes out and sells a place, they become a buyer who buys that place over there. And then that person's all of a sudden is going to sell their house. And this sort of circle of real estate starts to happen. And that's when a spring market happens, right? It literally starts to open up because people start interacting with each other. And if there's anything this market needs right now, is a bit of an opening up, a bit of a bloom to happen, because right now the perennial is dormant under all the snow. Do I expect the market to gain 10% or 15% here as we go through 2023? I don't, but I do expect to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% increase as we get into the summertime. We're already seeing that trend start to happen. I think December was the low. December was the trough. It was the bucket. It stunk. So here we've already seen improvements almost across the board in January, and I think we'll see that just small, but incrementally as we get into February, March, into Q2 of 2023. If you want to keep track of the real estate market, aside from subscribing to this channel, as I mentioned, there's all kinds of other tools and resources I've linked in the description of this video down below. Go check them out. There's a big market report. There's a smaller market report. There's a market insight, our Instagram page. Everything's down there. Go check it out. Highly encourage you to stay in touch with us. If you ever have any questions, things you want us to cover, questions on the marketplace, whatever, we're always happy to help. Reach out anytime at all. There's even a book a call with us link down below too if you want to go into our schedule, see what's available, book a phone call, and then bam, we're on the phone talking about the market. Is that amazing? Technology these days. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. If you ever have any questions, you can reach out anytime. Happy to chat. Okay, take care. See ya. Bye-bye.